Ever wondered what scary stuff hides in ancient tombs of history? Well, get ready because we're about to explore the top 10 scary secrets found in ancient tombs from history. These spooky discoveries will tell us weird and mysterious stories from a long time ago. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of the past? Let's go. Number 10. Prehistoric Frail Care. Around 100,000 years ago, at Galilee's Kavze cave site, a child's grave revealed a unique story. Discovered in 2014, the child suffered a severe head injury around age 6, causing permanent brain damage. Despite the challenges, the child didn't pass away immediately, living for several more years. This hinted at the child receiving care and support from their community. Researchers closely examined the ancient case, emphasizing the impact of the severe head injury on the child's ability to perform self-care. The child's grave, situated among other prehistoric graves, held an intriguing detail. The youngster, whose gender was unknown, lived until around 12 or 13. The community, in a touching gesture, decorated the teen's chest with deer antlers, a unique feature not seen in other graves. This decoration possibly signified the child as a special and cared-for member of their community. Number 9. St. Albans Abbot. St. Albans Cathedral is a really old church in Britain. It's named after the first saint of Britain who was killed there by the Romans. This church has been around since Norman times, and it is the oldest Christian worship place still in use in the country. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There was this guy named John of Wethamstead who was a super successful leader of the church. But when he died in 1465, people forgot where they buried him. Fast forward to 2017, archaeologists were digging around in the church's burial ground, looking mostly at graves from 1750 to 1850. Out of the blue, they find an anonymous skeleton. The archaeologists were puzzled until they stumbled upon 3 special things from Italy called papal seals. These seals were like unique symbols that identified the remains as Abbot John's back in 1423. He went to see the Pope in Italy, and the Pope gave him these seals as a big deal for his church. Number 8. Unknown Native American Group. In 2010, archaeologists found a 6-week-old girl's remains in Alaska. Her DNA, examined in 2018, showed she belonged to a new group named the Ancient Beringians. Unlike other Native Americans, they stayed in the region for a long time, developing unique genetic traits. This discovery changes how we understand the history of Native Americans. All present-day Native Americans trace their roots to 2 main groups. The Tanana River Girl, however, did not fit into either category, yet shared genetic similarities with today's Native Americans. Her genetic code, the second oldest genome found in North America, stands as a unique discovery, challenging scientists' previous knowledge. Number 7. Personal Moments of a Priestess. In 2018, they found a special tomb near the Big Pyramid in Egypt. Inside was a woman named Hetpet, who lived a long time ago. She was like a special priestess for a goddess. The tomb had pictures showing Hetpet as a mom getting gifts from her kids and doing fun things like hunting and fishing. The pictures also showed happy moments with music, dancing, and even monkeys that were like her pets. One special picture had an animal dancing with music, something seen only once before in Egypt. These discoveries tell us about Hetpet's important job as a priestess connected to the royal palace and give us a peek into her life and how she added something unique to ancient Egyptian society. Number 6. Egyptian Working Conditions. Jebel el-Silsila, a place in southern Egypt, researchers found tombs from 2015 to 2017. Some were simple, others for families, and one part was for people who lived 3,400 years ago. The skeletons showed the workers had tough jobs, with many bone fractures, but surprisingly, they healed well, suggesting good medical care. Despite the challenging conditions, they had enough food with a varied diet including Nile fish, mutton, goat meat, and even crocodile. Number 5. Islamic Writing in Viking Graves. In Sweden, at the Viking burial sites of Birka and Gamla Uppsala, burial garments were once considered typical by experts and were stored away for over a century. However, in 2017, a fresh study of over 100 pieces revealed a surprising discovery: woven writing on 10 fragments. What made it even more intriguing was the characters turned out to be Arabic Kufic script, with 2 words repeating together, Allah and Ali. The unique aspect was that the reference to God and Ali appeared correctly only when viewed in a mirror. This was somewhat unusual compared to other instances of mirror writing of these names. Notably, these words were not accompanied by the usual versions of the names or by the prophet's name. This discovery has sparked differing opinions among experts. Some suggest that the Vikings, having contact with the Islamic world, might have attempted to imitate the tradition but did so inaccurately. On the other hand, there's a more groundbreaking perspective that sees this as a potential clue to Islam's influence in Viking-era Scandinavia. Proponents of this view even consider the possibility that the individuals in the graves could have been followers of Islam. The ongoing debate underscores the need for more evidence to firmly establish the influence and beliefs of this period in history. Number 4. Ancient Roman Board Game. In 2006, archaeologists found a special wooden board in the belongings of a fancy person buried in Slovakia around AD 375. This wasn't just any board. It looked like a chessboard with squares. Similar setups were found in Roman and Greek temples 1,600 years ago. But what makes the Slovakia board unique is that it's super portable and had glass game pieces in green and white. The owner probably learned the game while in the Roman army. The tricky part? No one today knows how to play this ancient game. It's like a puzzle that experts are working hard to solve. They think it might be a version of Latron Kuli or Ludus Latron Colorum, based on an old Greek game called Peteia. Even though this discovery adds to the cool history of ancient games, figuring out the rules is like finding gold. Sadly, no one kept a complete set of rules for Latron Kuli or Peteia. It's like having a puzzle pieces, but the picture is missing some crucial parts. Number 3. A human spiral. In Tlapan, Mexico, a recent dig uncovered a 2,400-year-old mass grave. 10 people formed a spiral chain, and among them were adults, a baby, and an older child. Archaeologists aren't sure if it was a ritual or if they were buried together for different reasons. The village predates the Aztecs, and researchers hope these unusual skeletons will unravel the mystery of Mexico's earliest people and the quick disappearance of their societies. It's like solving a history puzzle, one weird skeleton at a time. Number 2. Jebel Khara's puzzling graves. In Jordan's desert, Jebel Khara holds a mystery within its hundreds of tombs. In 2017, researchers found cemeteries revealing the story of ancient communities appearing and disappearing over thousands of years. To understand this pattern, researchers dated the burials, finding a gap indicating a period of abandonment between the 3rd and 1st millennium BC. After 1,000 years, the graveyards were used again, this time by a society that didn't use ceramics. Another necropolis, established 8,000 years ago, saw new burials from AD 100 to 400. The reason for Jebel Khara's cycle of abandonment and resettlement remains unclear. While climate change is a potential factor, evidence is lacking. Another possibility is that people didn't leave, and archaeologists haven't found their traces from certain eras. Adding to the mystery is the transformation of the tombs in the late 1st millennium BC, becoming enormous structures resembling towers, some weighing up to 300 kilograms. The reasons behind this architectural change add another layer to the enigma of Jebel Khara's ancient history. Number 1. Oldest toy collection. And finally, we have our oldest toy collection. In Jordan's desert, Jebel Khara has lots of old tombs. In 2017, researchers found graves from a really long time ago. They saw a pattern. People lived there, then left, and came back later. They checked the dates and saw a time when nobody used the graves. Then folks used them again after 1,000 years. Some graves from 8,000 years ago had new burials from AD 100 to 400. Why Jebel Khara kept changing like this is a big mystery. It could be because of the weather changing, but we don't have enough proof. Another idea is that people stayed there, but archaeologists haven't found their stuff from certain times. Also, in the late 1st millennium BC, the tombs became huge towers, some really heavy. Why they changed like this is another part of Jebel Khara's big mystery.